We had trouble with the last time.
We sure missed Dr. Sue.
Take over that responsibility. So Karen, you need to take over the recorder and fill out the elevator.
No, we ready now? Okay. I'd like to call the meeting of the Pocahontas County Board of Education for Tuesday, April the 28th to order. All members are present. Second item on the agenda is the pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started with delegation, I'd like to say that the people out there watching this virtual, or what do we call it? Virtual. To watch the whole meeting, and just don't pull out segments of it, but watch the whole meeting. Because things do change throughout the meeting, and I don't think it's fair to the board members or any of us that sit here if you just pull out a segment and watch that. Here is the school law that we have to go by. This is the 24 version. The 25 school laws has not even been added into this yet. So you can see how thick this book is. This is what you will be, if you get elected to the board or are on the board, you'll spend 12 hours a year training and listening to lawyers about what's in this book. And it's not much fun, but you have to do it. And whenever something comes up, you will remember what laws we have to go by. But I think the public needs to know that's the law book right there. It's not policies, it's laws that we have to follow. Item number 3 on the agenda is delegations, and we have Aaron Baldwin.
Statement for us.
Oh, okay.
Ollie?
I'm sorry, Ollie.
That's okay. According to policy 160169.1, towards the end of that, it states that the presiding officer may interrupt, warn, or terminate a participant's statement when the statement is too lengthy, personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. They can request any individual to leave the meeting when that person does not observe reasonable decorum. Request the assistance of law enforcement officers in the removal of a disorderly person when that person's conduct interferes with the orderly progress of the meeting. Call for a recess or an adjournment to another time when the lack of public decorum so interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting as to warrant such action. And number 5, waive these rules with the approval of the board when necessary for the protection of privacy or the administration of the board's business.
Yeah, go to the podium so they can hear. She's gonna mic up there. There's one there. He's below the.
I've worked as an educator in this county for over 10 years. I'm a strong supporter of public education. I believe it should be the best option for our families. But I also believe we need to be honest when our system is not meeting the needs of all students. I'm here to speak about student access to county programs and how current policies are impacting families in this community. This is not about one student or one program. It is about whether we are choosing to open doors to students or quietly close them. My family has experienced this firsthand. My daughter attended West Virginia Virtual Academy and was denied access to programs offered in this county. She was allowed to participate at the school level and earn the opportunity to advance. However, that opportunity was taken away the night before the county level event. After that, she was also prevented from participating in additional events. In this case, this opportunities required no supervision and no cost to the county, yet access was still denied. That raises questions about why these decisions are being made. I remain disappointed in that decision and the lack of support our family received. But tonight, my concern is broader than my own family. I'm also concerned about other students who are taking non-traditional education paths and are being denied meaningful access to opportunities in our own community. Understand that there has been concerns raised about supervision, accountability, and the cost of participation for students who are not enrolled in this county. They could clearly recognize that students outside the traditional public school model may still be eligible to participate in interscholastic and extracurricular activities. It also requires participating students to comply with the rules of the WVSSAC and the county board in which they live. So while I understand concerns about supervision and accountability, those concerns are already addressed in the participation framework. Non-enrolled students can be held to expectation rules and consequences connected to participation. State code also allows reasonable fees tied to participation costs, but when fees become a barrier, they move away from cost recovery and begin limiting access for students. If the goal is to encourage enrollment, restricting access to student opportunities is not the answer. Let me be clear. Denying access to opportunities as a way to influence enrollment is not appropriate, and it does not serve students. The path to higher enrollment is to support teachers, listen to families, and build a system that earns trust. We should be building partnerships between public school systems and students on non-traditional education paths, not creating an unnecessary us versus them dynamic. I've seen this collaboration work in other counties. Students are encouraged to participate for the benefit of the entire community. That type of partnership strengthens school systems. It does not weaken them. I also want to state this clearly. This county has truly incredible educators in the classroom. I've had the privilege of working alongside of them. They show up every day for students, going above and beyond what is required of them, but they are drastically undersupported. Increasingly, they are being asked to operate in a system where their voices feel less valued and less heard. Policies that limit communication between educators and decision makers only widen that divide. Teacher and public comment should not be viewed as a threat. It should be viewed as part of a healthy and accountable public school system. And finally, and most importantly, I want to express my disappointment in how a parent was treated at the last board meeting. Families should be able to ask questions, raise concerns, and advocate for their children without being made to feel dismissed, attacked, or unwelcome. In moments where families are navigating extremely difficult circumstances, the expectation should be compassion first. That standard was not met. I encourage the board to take a step back and consider the long-term impact of your decisions and the tones they set for how families and educators are treated. Because at the end of the day, every decision should come back to one question. Are we expanding opportunities for students and families, or are we limiting them? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I see it or dissolve.
Fred,
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Fred Kerber. I'm the athletic director at Pocahontas County High School. I'm up here advocating for our coaching staff.
How do you spell your last name? K-E-R?
No, sir, it's Koerber, the O silent.
K-O-E-R. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Anyhow, I'm advocating for the coaches at the high school. I submitted a couple of times for requests for a certain number of coaches to properly train, prepare for our games, and to safely monitor our student athletes. However, what came back is not what we wanted on tonight's board. Specifically, one guy's missing, me. I've received an exemplary evaluation. I was the assistant football coach last year, and I received an exemplary evaluation. And I didn't put in my resignation, but I'm not on there. So it raises a question and of why. I filed a grievance. I'd like to submit it for the official record stating I've received an exemplary evaluation in the 25-26 school year. I did not resign from my position as assistant football coach. However, I was not placed on the April 28th the board tonight agenda for rehire for the 26-27 school year. All other coaches who did not resign and receive a meet standards or better evaluation are being carried forward while I am not. This inconsistent treatment constitutes favoritism. So I'd like to submit these two for the record, please. Go ahead,
Right here.
give them to.
Finally, here.
Thank you, sir.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
Thank you.
Well,
Do you want to address this?
Congressman policy. I do have something to say, just a brief statement. To the public that's watching, to the attendees here tonight, friends, family, colleagues, and community members. I want to begin by acknowledging that practices and expectations can differ significantly across public schools, charter schools, private schools, and homeschool. Our public school system, however, operates within clearly defined framework. A significant rule-driven framework, which President Grimes pointed out earlier. We are governed by the state and federal laws, along with established processes, procedures, and protocols. To meet those legal and ethical expectations, our board adopts policies to guide our work and our decision-making. When I first arrived in Pocahontas County, the district was not fully meeting those expectations. As a result, the county was placed under state intervention, with multiple areas requiring correction. Those collaborations, careful policy studying, and clear guidance, we worked together as a leadership team with our staff and alongside our community to address those issues and ultimately regain local control. I share this history to establish an important baseline. Our policies are essential, especially in difficult and controversial times. Those policies are not arbitrary. They exist to ensure consistency, transparency, fairness, and to guarantee that all students are treated equitably. While I understand not every decision will be supported by everyone, it is impossible to please all people at all times. While I ask for instead is grace and understanding, especially during our challenging moments. Policies exist because past circumstances require clear guidance, and we cannot remain fair, we cannot remain equitable, and we cannot be consistent if we selectively waive policies. I will be the first to say that neither I nor our system is perfect. We are continuously learning and growing and struggling to become better every day. Thank you, President Cluster.
Item number 4 on the agenda is recognitions, champions of learning for Pocahontas County. You want to do these one at a time? Or you want to?
You want to read this off and then I'll read them. You want to read them and I go into the presentation, or you want to wait on me to do the presentation?
I can read them all and then you can do the
Okay,
presentation.
perfect.
Okay. Hillsborough Elementary School, Amanda Buzzard and Heather Simmons. Mornington Elementary School, Samantha Feathers and Ashley Diller. Greenbank Elementary Middle School, Richard McLaughlin and Shannon Barkley Butcher. Mornington Middle School, Charles Hughes and Kim Jordan. Pocahontas County High School, Laurel Dilly and Arthur Sharp. Pocahontas County Teachers of the Year, Samantha Feathers. Pocahontas County Service Personnel of the Year is Heather Simmons.
Process, went through the selection process, did all the work for getting our candidates here today. Their work, their dedication has been valuable, and I appreciate both of you. So thank you so much for your services. So, Teacher of the Year and Service Personnel of the Year recognition, one of the most important responsibilities we have as a school system is recognizing excellence, not only to honor outstanding individuals, but to affirm that the values we want reflected in every classroom and in every school. The West Virginia Department of Education's Teacher of the Year and School Service Personnel of the Year are among the longest standing and most respected recognition programs in the state of West Virginia. Those honors celebrate educators and service personnel who exemplify dedication, innovation, and a deep commitment to students and school communities across West Virginia. Each year, county-level honorees advance through a rigorous selection process. This year it was led by Dr. Combs, ultimately representing their counties at the state and serving as ambassadors for the public education. These individuals not only perform their job exceptionally well, but they elevate the entire profession through leadership and service. In Pocahontas County, we are especially proud of our recent success in this program. Last year, we saw historic success with Haley Cummins, our District Service Personnel of the Year candidate, advanced all the way to the finalist level at the state, placing our county among the very best in West Virginia. Tonight, we proudly honor educators and service personnel by celebrating excellence locally, publicly, and meaningfully. At the school level, each Teacher of the Year and Service Personnel of the Year honoree will receive recognition at this evening's board meeting, a formal certificate of recognition, a custom name badge featuring the Teacher or Service Personnel of the Year emblem for their school, a digital Teacher of the Year or Service Person of the Year badge to use in their email signatures and professional communications, and a reserved parking space at their school for the school year. These.
It's a big deal.
I mean, the parking space is a big deal. These recognitions are designed to ensure that excellence is visible, valued, and celebrated daily within our buildings. Now we'd like to present to you our school level Teacher of the Year and Service Personnel of the Year honorees. Please come to the table when your name is called to receive your certificates. But first, let me ask our board members to come stand up front.
Want to stand over there, that way we don't knock
Yeah,
something
why
off.
don't you stand over there? That's a great
We're
idea.
gonna knock something off.
And I'll give them their certificate now for them. So if we can get you to stand right here. Oh, yes. Just look right here. Yeah, look right there. Yes. Yes. Green Bay. So.
This is me.
If you want to. We'll have you shake your hand first. So first from Green Bay, we have Richard Lawson, Teacher of the Year, and Shannon Barkley, Firster. Your name. You'll stand over here. And I'll get the privacy. I gave him his temporary parking thing when I said, "When you're there."
It's the one that goes right.
So here you go. Yeah, let's get the Service Personnel of the Year. So for Service Personnel of the Year, we have Shannon Barkley Birch. Oh, she's not here. All right, let's still give her a round. Yes, in order for you. If you want to get your, shake the board members' hands and get your picture with them. I'll bring it.
Two of us.
I'll take it.
Thank you guys.
All those.
Two, three.
You really did. Sorry.
I had most of your kids in school at one point in time. Thank you.
Because the spring concert coming up, so I invite you to join us because it's really good.
And because my band got us, one of my bands got a superior rating, I'm going to be doing the spring concert with half a bearded mustache. So you don't want to miss that.
All right. Here we go, everybody. And 1, 2, Okay, so next we have from Hillsborough. Yes, Miss Becky. I feel like you're awkward.
We
You
feel,
are. So can we move over here?
we can.
Yes, yes, and I'll just move these down. I feel like that's an awkward setup there for you guys.
I'll stay beside the same.
Okay.
We step.
Okay, this,
Don't let me find.
this works better.
This, I hold on to these.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm really gonna stick you with that.
Do you want to talk about the industrial? For Hillsborough Elementary, we have Teacher of the Year, Amanda Buzzard. Let's get Miss Becky on hers. And then for Service Personnel of the Year, and we have like half-time clean to her. She works with us a little bit, is Miss Heather Simmons.
Thank you.
Heather, there's a baby over here with this too. Morgan. 1, 2.
Get that parking pass. That's right.
For Marlinton Elementary. Be right here. Here.
Right here. Mark Elementary. That's Mark. Yeah.
Teacher of the Year is for Marlinton Elementary is Mrs. Samantha Feathers. Better friends. All right. 1, 2. And then for Service Personnel of the Year, we have Ashley Diller. One, 2. And then for Marlinton Middle School, we have for Teacher of the Year, Miss Charlie Hughes.
Every year.
And for Service Personnel of the Year, we have Mrs. Kimberly Jordan. Thank you. So beautiful. 1, 2. For Pocahontas County High School, we have
We only got 2 more parking passes, so.
we have, for Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Laurel Dilly. Service Personnel of the Year. For Service Personnel of the Year, we have Mr. Arthur Sharp. So we'll just give him a. Um. So at the county level, our Teacher of the Year and our Service Personnel of the Year recipients receive all those honors plus additional district-wide recognition. A county level certificate of achievement they received tonight, presented at the time of announcement. The opportunity to advance and compete at the state level for WVDE Teacher or Service Personnel of the Year. A district Teacher or Service Personnel of the Year poster to display in their school. A featured banner on the Pocahontas County website. If you've seen our website, you've seen that all year along with there. Oh, there it is. So this is the new one. Pause for Kirsty to show. A recognition video published on our website and social media platform.
So we're gonna show you this. This is from when we got to, surprise and better.
Maybe a little louder. That's just forever. I do want to say that, I'm extremely grateful for Ruth Land who provided our flowers. And it was an honor for the team and I to go out and do this together and recognize our teachers. I feel privileged. So without further ado, let's get Pocahontas County Teacher of the Year, Samantha Feathers, up here to hang it, up here to get their plaque. We're going to leave it because we don't have our spot. We're going to start a wall of fame for our, just like we have the superintendent's wall of fame, we're going to have a wall of fame for our teachers and our service personnel of the year to memorialize this moment in history. So proud of them girls. Let's get one more picture right here in the middle, real nice. Maybe Carrie can be in the middle, but I'll be on the end. Girl, look at me.
Can't see me, Karen.
Well, Carrie, you're having, it's new time.
Everybody look at me, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. So all of the individuals tonight that we honor reflect what makes Pocahontas County School an exceptional place to get educated. Dedication to our students, pride in service, and commitment to excellence reach far beyond their job descriptions. On behalf of the board and the central office administrators, I thank every educator and service personnel who represents our county with such distinction. Your work matters, and tonight we are proud of you and Dr. Rector. Thank you for all that you do.
If I can, I'm still, you're absolutely that.
You're allowed to.
You're more than welcome to stay. Please.
More than welcome to stay, or it's up to you all. Thanks, Ashley.
Got the kid.
Understand. Number 5, school improvement updates.
I don't have a lot for school improvement updates. I do want to say that we are working diligently on our,
There's just a really big dog out there.
oh, it's just Pisces, he'll be fine. He's black.
Only bites sometimes.
Loves everybody. Is that his name, Pisces? So we don't have a lot of updates tonight for school improvement. Chrissy, do you have the flyer, maybe? Okay. We have been working on our bell schedule at the high school, and we have been working on sometimes there's behind the scene work that has to be done. We have not fleshed out all the details yet. Had a meeting with the teachers today. I think there's still a ton more questions, some concerns that we need to work through. But we are ready to have some parent sessions to kind of talk to our parents about the new high school schedule and about the course opportunities. So I just wanted to say we have a parent meeting scheduled for May the 4th, one during the day at 2:00, and then one during the evening at 5:30. We will have representatives Roger Griffith and Marcia Hicks from the New River Community and Technical College and Pocahontas County School staff there. We invite all upcoming 8th graders, all the high school staff, any parent that wants to come, any buddy that is in the public that wants to come and learn about this, because we are really excited about the opportunities we can provide for our students in Pocahontas County. And they will cover that. They will cover the Leveled Up program. They will cover up free textbooks. There will be opportunities for our current 11th graders that will be seniors to get the first year of college coursework and then move into that 13th year of school through the Invest Grant and complete their program. The juniors will have an opportunity to get a collegiate certificate as they move from junior to senior. Then our cohort for the actual associate's degree starts in the 9th and the 10th grade. You have to complete the credits that are prescribed to take in policy, West Virginia Board Policy 2510, so that you have the flexibility to move into one of these associate's degrees. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean everybody's getting an associate degree. It does not mean that. It means that we still have our CTE pathways. We may have other students that are college prep that don't want to take the associate's degree. So we'll still have that college readiness pathway as well. But we want to remove any geographical barriers or financial barriers. We want to provide opportunities to be educated for the jobs that are in our community, and opportunities to stay here, live here, grow here, put your kids in school here. So really, this is about building a stronger community and better opportunities. Not every opportunity is for every student, so there's a variety of opportunities. We will be putting this out on social media. I think it's a great opportunity to hear the people from New River explain what's going on, kind of cover it, answer questions, and see if any of these things are for your students. So I encourage you to attend and be engaged in this process. That's all I have for school improvement.
Okay, guess we're gonna help our kids navigate this opportunities with the new schedule and everything.
Absolutely.
You know, we're gonna help them.
That at that meeting, New River will be available to talk to parents and students individually about the programs of study. So if they have questions, they'll be able to navigate that and start the process of selecting their coursework. Is that what you're asking?
Well, yes, and we're gonna have our people there telling them how we can fit this into our schedule.
All the art people that's listed there will also be there.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Are you going to cover after a while, when are the schedule's going to be complete for next year? So
The
kids
schedule
have-
should be in the students' hands when they leave June 12th. I wanted to address the schedule because I think there's a lot of stress about the schedule, and I understand we're stressed out. Okay, we've had a period of time in the county when we were on intervention over schedules. It was a situation. Schedules were not actually mailed out last year until I got here. I believe it was August before we actually sent the schedules out to the students. So this year we're moving at a slower pace so we can do it correctly. And I understand there's mistrust. I understand that this is new and we're feeling tension, we're feeling anxiety, we're questioning the process, but we have to give me a little bit of grace and a little bit of time, because once we get it done, it will be done correctly. It's meant to last the school system at least until I'm not here anymore. And I plan on being here at least 10 years. So this changing your schedule every year, changing what you're doing every year is not good for the community. It's not good for the students. It's not good for the parents. So we're building capacity, and sometimes building capacity is frustrating because we don't know that it's new, and newness causes struggle, and struggle causes anxiety. But we will get through this, and students will have a schedule when they leave on June 12th. My former job at the West Virginia Department of Education was high school intervention. Working with high school schedules is something I'm good at. It's something I know how to do. It's something that I've done. It's not something that I'm not familiar with, but it's the process. And I understand that maybe some of the parents in the community would have liked earlier communication. But with that stated, you can't communicate when you're still having behind the scene conversations and trying to build the process. We will have schedules on June 12th. I have promised these teachers that. And I usually keep my promise 99.9% of the time. The only time I don't is when I take a nap. When I tell Dwayne I'm gonna do something, I sit down, get my cat on my lap and fall asleep. And I'm not gonna fall asleep on the job. We will have schedules and it will be fun. That was a great question.
I've got another one.
Okay.
Are all of our seniors on track to graduate?
Every senior that is every single senior will walk across the stage. That I do not know of any that's not gonna walk across the stage. Miss Dunlap, do you know of any?
No.
No, and I've talked to Miss Bland multiple times. Yes, so all of our seniors are on track to graduate.
That's good time.
Okay, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
There was a lot of work that had to go into that to make sure credits were aligned, to make sure that anybody that didn't have their credit was in credit recovery. So the staff has been working incredibly hard at the high school. Ms. Bland's been working incredibly hard, and so hasn't the staff here supporting that. So they will all graduate.
Thank you.
I don't know if that was supposed to be a secret or not, but
Well,
Don't
the
have to be
kids didn't
secret.
know, I'm sorry.
They all
we need
know.
to
Some
know
of them
that.
I'm sure Miss Bland would have already talked.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't have asked, maybe I shouldn't have asked them.
No, they're 100% graduating. Any other questions from board members?
I don't think she sleeps, Dwayne. I get texts at 12 o'clock at night.
I take cat naps. I got a cat.
Especially if something's going on.
Yes,
You got anything else?
I do not have anything else under school.
Any other questions while we're on this subject? All right, item number 6 is the consent agenda item. A is approval of the agenda. B is approval of the minutes from March 2024, 2026 personnel hearings. Payment of bills subject to additions, deletions, or other changes prior to the board meeting. A, payment of vendor listing, $18,184.46. Payment of P card, $14,708.30. April 20th, 2026 employee payroll, $309,181.38. D is grant awards. E is budget adjustments. D, budget transfers and supplements subject to additions, deletions, or other changes prior to the board meeting. Do I have a motion? Mr. McCombs made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McNabb seconded. Any questions on the items I just read? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Ms. Karen, did you vote? Okay.
I do have some changes for the personnel part.
Motion, we'll do that whenever we get there. Personnel matters. Number 7 on the agenda.
I'd like to request an executive session.
Mr. McCombs has requested an executive session on personnel. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McNabb seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carried. We will go into executive session at 6:44, and it might be easier for us to go somewhere than it is for this crowd.
Okay, we can go in my office.
Yeah. I don't know where we would put everybody, but we can go. Better take your agenda with you.
Some adjustments.
You
Do we have a,
gotta come out of executive session.
yeah, we gotta make a motion, to come out of executive session. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have Mr. McCombs made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McNabb, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We come out of executive session at 7:03. We are back in regular session. Do I have,
You going, Christie?
you on?
Tape
Okay.
recorder on? Is the recorder on?
Personnel matters. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. McCombs made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McNabb seconded. First items we're going to go over is probationary professional contracts for the professional personnel. Has anybody got any questions on professional service personnel?
I do have a couple of corrections for President.
Okay.
Alexander Hummel should be probationary contract for 26-27 with 220 days. And then Fred H. Barlow, a probationary contract for 2027 for 200 days. We missed adding Mr. Barlow's name to the agenda, so he needs to be added. Fred H. Barlow, probationary contract track 2027 for 200 days. And then there's an adjustment in Alexander Hummels. He's a music teacher at Pocahontas County High School for 220 days.
Any other corrections?
I believe, Ollie, is there any other corrections under that section?
So that's it on professional personnel.
Yes, and that will be,
And is that including substitute professionals too?
yes.
Oh, we're good
There's
with
no
that.
changes in those.
Okay, contracts for service personnel. Does anybody have any questions on that? Hearing none, all those on coaches.
Do have one coaching adjustment. Jessica McNabb, she's the assistant basketball coach
Yes.
at Marlington Middle School,
Mhm.
has resigned her position today.
Okay. So Jesse McNabb resigned.
So strike her from the agenda, please.
I need to recuse myself when you vote on that public
We
court.
need to pour Corey McNabb out and vote on Corey separate. You got to pull anything else? I don't see his name. Jessica.
That's just a resignation. That's just a resignation.
Somewhere, yep. Okay, and we need to pull Fred Covert out. Vote on
Table, table.
table, we need a table. Fred will be tabled. Okay, we've got Corey McNabb pulled out. We're not gonna, Frosty, we're gonna vote on him separate.
We'll do it now.
So, no, we're gonna vote on all of them, all of the coaches, except Corey McNabb and Fred Covert. So we're gonna vote on all of them except them two. Okay,
We're voting on all the employees or just the coaches?
all of them,
All the employees.
all employees, everybody that's on the
That's fine,
list
fine.
and the coaches,
And the coach.
except these two.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All those in favor of all what we just seen on here and all the coaches and service personnel signify by saying aye. Motion carries 5-0. All right, now we're gonna vote on Corey McNabb. Let the record show that Mr. McNabb recused himself. All those in favor of Corey McNabb signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. A motion to table Fred Covert as athletic director at Pocahontas County High School. Do I have a motion?
And they,
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Covert has been tabled and not voted on tonight. Better get back and find out where I'm at in the agenda.
Number 10.
I know. Old business.
None.
We don't have any old business?
No.
Thank goodness. Number 10 is new business. A is approval of fundraiser. B is approval of out of county, out of state and overnight field trips. C is presentation of audit report, Pocahontas County Board of Education and Hillsborough Elementary, Mornington Elementary, Green Bank Elementary Middle and Mornington Middle. D is discussion approval to use the state auditor's office for the fiscal year 25-26 financial audit. E is discussion approval of Brain Spring, Orton Gillingham approach, proposal for instructional resources of phonic awareness, phonics and decoding in grades K-5, approval of Brain Spring, Orton Gilligan approach for the cost of $1,525 per person. Discussion and approval application for cooperative sponsorship of a sport football WVSSAC Rule 127-2-3.2.
Mr. President,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to strike out item F.
Okay.
The principals are going to submit that at a later time. They asked to pull that from the agenda.
Okay, that has been pulled.
Discussion.
Yes. Well, we gotta make a motion to get it on the floor first.
they made.
Mr. McCombs made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McNabb seconded it. Okay. Any questions or discussion?
Yes, item 10D. I would like to see us get someone other than the state auditor to audit the school's record, because I know too much in the past years what's going on, what's taking place, and I think we need to get somebody other than the state auditor.
Who all's available or what do you?
We could bid it out. If you don't want to approve the state auditor, we could, Sarah.
May I ask?
Yes.
Debbie? We did independent audit, not just the state audit for the schools this year.
Right,
Something not,
right, but this is for,
Next
so
year.
you want the board office done. This is for the board office, the D. We will have the independent audits for the
that is
school.
not the state auditor.
That is not the state auditor, correct?
Then why can you not get somebody to do the county as well?
We can, if you all choose to do that. If something's wrong, we have to go to the state anyway.
Right.
So then we'd have to pay the money twice. I might as well use the state auditor who's gonna have to look at the books anyway.
Yeah.
That was what we were, it's gonna
We
cost.
discussed it in length. We discussed getting someone else for the audit. And then if something does go wrong, the state auditor has to come back in and re-audit us.
Withdraw that comment.
Because I thought about getting someone else as well, because the audit takes weeks and weeks. He was here for a long time, combing through stuff. Yes, so I had initially thought about that too, but then I realized that if he finds something, we have to have him come in and audit us and have to pay him.
It's like $25,000.
It pays 25, we're gonna wind up paying about 27 to 29 for the state audit. Pendleton does a independent, and they're paying 25, 26. So you're not looking at much,
That's incredible.
and we're gonna have to have the state do it anyway.
And the audit, is right there if you need to
And we're
read
gonna
it.
go over the
I mean,
audit
if-
tonight.
Huh?
We're gonna go over the audit.
We're going over.
Mhm.
Any other questions, discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Number 11, superintendent updates, general updates.
Can we back up? Sarah and I have to present out the state audits of the county school system and the individual school audits. We have a presentation for that.
I mean, that's what we're here for.
Okay,
Celtics is playing basketball, so.
so we have a couple of different audits to report out today. We remember we're looking at the public school accounting procedure audit for Pocahontas County. We're going to look at Hillsborough Elementary, Marlton Elementary, Green Bank Elementary Middle School, and Marlton Middle School. We are not presenting out on Pocahontas County High School because we've already submitted that independent audit to the public a few months ago. So we're looking at the general overview, and if you're looking for the policy, we're looking at the County Procedures Manual for Public Schools in the state of West Virginia, and that policy number is 1224.1. So at the beginning of the accounting manual or policy, it really states who does what. So county boards of education, subject to the provision of statute and the rules and regulation of the State Board of Education, have the authority and responsibility to require that records be kept of all receipts and disbursements of all funds collected or received by any principal, teacher, student, or other person connected with the school, and all programs, all activities, and other endeavors of any nature operated or carried on by or in the name of the school. Or by any organization or body directly connected with the school to audit such funds and to conserve such funds. So that really gets a comprehensive overview of what our responsibility is. Any agency that's doing anything connected with the school, raising funds for the school, we have to be responsible for them having the appropriate procurement processes in place. All such funds so collected shall, and when it says shall in policy, that means you have to do. There's no wiggle room. Shall be deemed quasi-public monies and shall be expended for the benefit of the students of the school. So it really kind of lays out there that all funds are spent for the benefit of the students at the school. The accounting practices and procedures prescribed in this manual apply to every public school in the state, including multi-county vocational schools. County boards of education are encouraged to develop local policies and regulations that supplement the provisions specified herein. Our policy is a national research company called Neola. Every time a new law is passed, every time a state policy is changed, they send us an update that reflects that, and those updates are placed on our agenda. There are at least 10, 15 lawyers that research every policy that's put out there to make sure our policies are compliant with state law and national law on top of that.
Okay. This policy that we're speaking of is in the hands of every secretary in our 5 schools. So they are quite familiar with it, and we can turn to it at any time. A good internal control structure is a key factor in the effective management of the school's internal controls, encompasses both the accounting and the administrative control processes. As you can see, some of the characteristics of a good internal control system include proper authorization of transactions and activities, adequate segregation of duties, adequate documentation of records, adequate safeguards over the use of and access, and independent checks over the performances. Why do we have these internal controls? To safeguard our public funds, ensure compliance with the West Virginia Code, our state board of education policies, and our federal grant requirements. It also will prevent, detect fraud and waste and abuse, and will ensure financial reporting and accountability. You'll look on page 4, if the secretary is in there, you'll be able to pull this directly from the policy. Each school is considered to be a separate and distinct financial accounting entity. As such, a complete set of accounting records must be maintained for each school and its records and financial activities for the school. Separate monthly and annual financial statements are to be prepared by each school, including multi-county vocational centers. Well, we don't have that, but the other counties do. Only financial activities of the school are to be recorded in the school's accounting records. Personal transactions of the staff, such as a coffee or a flower fund, are not to be put into the school records. We don't put it in our SFO, and that's our school funds online accounting. Schools are not legal entities, and schools personnel, including principals, do not have the statutory authority to enter into contracts or obligate board funds.
So the only person that can sign a contract for the school district is the superintendent of schools. And that contract has to go on the board agenda to be approved by the board. So therefore, any purchasing contracts has to be first. I always put them on the board agenda first, because you don't want to sign a contract and commit the county to buying something and then put it on the board agenda and them not agree and not approve it. So always board agenda comes to the superintendent, request, I put it on the board agenda, the board approves it, then the contract is in effect after the board meeting. This next one.
So what is the county board's responsibility here with the schools? Well, let's look down. We have to require that records are kept and all receipts and disbursements and all funds collected. Yeah, right there, there's a county.
Yeah, but you're not. We're here. Is that the right page? 7?
Flip your next slide.
Okay, so I'll go, this is actually my slide, because I want to really talk about what's in the accounting a journal for boosters and parent organizations. I think it's important to understand that those have a specific way that we develop those, we keep those, and we operate those. So under organization of the policy, section 2-2, every school support organization should be officially organized with a set of published bylaws and be governed by an elected board of directors consisting of at least one president, one vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer. All school support organizations must be approved annually by the county board of education. Written minutes are to be prepared for each meeting, and such minutes are to be made available to anyone interested in them within a responsible time after the meeting. At the minimum, the minutes should contain the following information: date, time, and place of the meeting. Name of each member of the governing board present or absent. All motions, all proposals, all resolutions proposed. The name of the individual who made the proposal and their disposition and the results of all votes. So here's how that works. Years ago at Eastern Greenbrier Middle School, we had an athletic boosters. And those boosters had a combined fund from all the sports. And in order to have a combined fund from all the sports, you have to develop these guidelines. You have to have the president, the vice president, the secretary, the treasurer, and that has to be approved by the county board of education. Then when spending occurs from that fund, the group of people, as we see here outlined in state law and policy, they vote on that. They vote on it. So let's say we have an athletic fund and they're doing uniforms. They would vote on uniforms. They would vote on sports equipment as a collective group. No one individual can control a fund. It's outlined here in organization. My PTA was the exact same way. We had to have a PTA president, a PTA vice president. So whenever I wanted something from my PTA, I would say, I need this. And they would say, okay, we're going to put it on the next agenda. Do you want to come and talk to the PTA? And I go to the PTA and I'd say, we would like to do blah, blah, blah. We'd like your help in doing that. And then they would vote on it and either help me or not help me. One of the things they always helped me with was attendance initiative. That's a big thing that PTA helps with at the elementary level. This is me or you? This is you.
Now I can tell you what our responsibilities are. I was getting on a roll. You all need to be responsible for, as we require that records are kept and all receipts and disbursements and all funds collected or received by a principal, teacher, student, or other person collected with the school or connected with the school, and all programs, activities, and other endeavors of any nature operating or carried by or on the name of the school or by the organization or the body are directed and directly connected with the school. We have to watch that. We have to make sure that everything is entered. We have to make sure that the audits of such funds and conserve such funds. And then you have to, all such funds so collected shall be deemed quasi-public monies and shall be expensed for the benefit of the students of the school.
So the accounting practices and procedures prescribed in the manual, that's 1224-1, apply to every public school in the state, including multi-county vocational centers. County boards of education, that again, are encouraged to develop county policies to regulate that. So the school principal's responsibility. The school principals, and I don't think a lot of folks understand, there's a separation in county funds and school funds. Schools have all of their own accounts that their principal is in charge of and controls. Those are separate from the county funds. So they're two separate issues that we're talking about. So at the county level, the superintendent is the approver. At the school level, it's the principal. They are the lead in that building. So the principal is responsible for financial management of the school. The principal must ensure that all provisions of the manual and local board policies and procedures are complied with, that all accounting records are maintained accurately, and that all finance reports are prepared and submitted in a timely manner. The schools have to submit monthly, and the county has to submit monthly. The county cannot submit monthly until the school submits monthly. For example, I was child nutrition director for 10 years. So all of my schools had to submit their report to me and their check for money collected, and then I could submit to the state. If you don't submit by the deadline, the schools don't submit by their deadline, and we don't submit by our deadline, then there is a finding for not having accurate records.
Okay. And as the secretaries will tell you, when the monies come in, they're going to have collection sheets that they have to put them on. And they have to balance, and that's put into the accounting system. In a situation where monies are collected and after normal business hours or weekends, the funds are to be remitted the following day. The total of the amount of money remitted to the principal or the designee must reconcile, so it's gotta equal, detailed records to support the collection.
And I think both of those are actually pulled from the accounting manual.
it's
Both of the
all
forms
about-
up here are from the state policy accounting manual forms.
They have.
So then your receipt.
There we go. And then that's one too. Where we're gonna have them. Some of them, when you're entering your money, you'll be pre-numbered receipts and that's entered in your SFO. And you can enter it, you'll have to tell it whether it's cash or check. And now we're also accepting the money online with the credit cards. And it's reconciled through the accounting system. We also include, but not limited to, revenues of collecting from students, parents. We don't have the vending machines. Concession stands and cafeteria sales. We have the fundraisers that we need to do. We have to make sure all fundraisers are gonna balance. And then you're also gonna do fundraiser profit and loss. And that'll come through. And a total amount of the receipts issued must equal the total number of funds received.
So let's talk about how you could lose money on a fundraiser. That doesn't quite make sense, right? So years ago, schools would buy big boxes of candy bars. Does everybody remember the big boxes of candy bars? And we would give our little darlings a box of 100 candy bars that cost $1 each. And sometimes they would take those candy bars and they would eat them. Right, Becky? Yes. And then it'd be time to turn their money in, and guess what? They ate their profit. We were at a loss because somebody ate all the candy bars. That happened to me as elementary principal, and I learned real quick, lickety split, we're not selling candy bars anymore because we're in the hole because somebody ate all the candy. So that's how that can happen. If you're selling a consumable item, it is possible. You got to consider the people that's selling it and their ability to control themselves with a caramel candy bar. Okay, so that can happen. That's an example of how you can lose money on a fundraiser. So next one, Chrissy. Yes. So accounting procedure manuals, we're talking about bank deposits, to minimize risk of loss or theft, it is recommended that bank deposits be made on a daily basis. Every day when I was principal, either me or my secretary made the bank deposit every day. Every day after every event, after my husband was athletic director, we counted that, the two people counted, made a bank deposit. So that minimizes the risk of loss. However, a bank deposit must be made whenever the total collections on hand exceed $500 or before any extended holiday. Bank deposits must be made at least weekly, regardless of the amount of the collections. Authorized expenditures. West Virginia Code 18-5-13 allows schools to spend funds for students, parents, teachers, and community recognition programs using funds generated through fundraisers or donation soliciting activity. Prior to commencing the activity, the school must publicize that the activity will be for this purpose and must designate the funds generated for that purpose. It's basically, long story short, what that's saying. What you raise the funds for, you spend the money on. You can't raise the funds for one thing and spend the money on another thing because you've told the public that's what you're doing. So another personal example, when I was principal, we had a little group of skaters, little skaters. We had about 1,000 students in Eastern Greenbrier Middle School. They decided they were raising money for homeless kids. No fundraiser turned in. They got all the money, it was thousands of dollars, and bought themselves new skateboards. Nobody knew. And then some teacher came up to me and said, "Hey, where's that money? When we donated, are we going to do a ceremony?" And I was principal and I was like, "What money?" And then I started investigating. They raised fund for the homeless, but bought themselves skateboards. So you can't do that. So that was a whole situation that we had going on there with that. Or let's say we're going to raise money for, because this is something I think that we probably would raise money for, new curtains in the gymnasium. You know, those curtains probably cost about $30,000, $40,000. And then after we start raising money for new curtains, we say, you know what? Change our mind. We want a new sound system. You can't do that. You have to spend the money for the cause that you raised it for. If you don't get enough, you have to have another fundraiser till you get the amount of money that you need. And I know about curtains and raising money because I've replaced mine at my little elementary school and they were about $45,000. I didn't realize how much gym curtains cost at the time. So we had to fundraise for that.
How do we go about the money? You have to have a purchase order in place. The purchase order system is maintained at each school, whereby all purchases for material, equipment, supplies, and services are made through a pre-numbered system. Use a requisition first and ask. You'll have your building supervisor sign it and send it. If it's county money, you'll send it up here. If it's school money, the secretary will go on and process your requisition. Should the building supervisor, should your principal sign it. Schools are required to follow a bid threshold, so we have to be careful of our money. We can't go above our thresholds, and they're also outlined in 8200. Purchase orders must be approved in writing by the principal. And if you have to make sure that when you're putting them in the system that it's going to encumber it. So if you don't have the funds, you're not going to be able to get it.
So what do we have to get purchase orders for? Travel, get a motel room. You have to put in a purchase requisition, get a PA to pay for your room, then use your P card. You have to get a purchase requisition for everything. Everything that's done. At the county office, our program directors manage their program funds as they come in. Then they get a purchase order. All purchase orders that is at purchasing at the county level comes to me and Sarah. We have a 2-system check here. Sarah checks it first and I check it to make sure that the codes are appropriate on those PO and they're being spent out of the appropriate account because 2 board meetings ago, I presented about what funds are for spending on different topics. So we can't take transportation funds and spend it on something else. So we have to watch those codes. So when they're doing the audit, they're looking at those codes to see if you have the correct code on there and to see, first of all, did you have your requisition and your PO before your invoice? You never want to cut a PO after the invoice. Now I've heard, and I know sometimes that's the way we've always done it around here. But when doing it incorrectly becomes a habit, we have to relearn that habit and we have to do it correctly. So that's my answer to that. We've always done it that way. We've always just bought stuff without our PO or our requisition. That's not how we can do it because that's not the appropriate way to do it.
Dr. Williams, you want to take questions along or at the end?
Can I take them at the end?
Yeah.
Okay. Just me.
As you
Event receipts. So we already talked about this. We talked about the pre-numbered tickets when you're collecting them. The first ticket has to match the last ticket, and that's how you calculate that. So we know that. Event samples include dances, sporting events, theater productions, and show choir performances. Unused ticket stocks should be kept in a secure location and issued to the ticket collectors immediately prior to the event. If you don't monitor the tickets, you don't know who is taking the money up, how much you actually got from your proceeds. So you have to monitor the tickets and you have to justify that. Or you don't know. You could be at a basketball game and somebody could give a heartfelt speech and somebody should say, hey, I want to take $500 out and give it to them at the basketball game. And that's not allowed. That's just not allowed to do that. So we have to make sure that we're monitoring that process and taking care of that accounting. So ticket reconciliation is very important.
One thing that's come up quite a bit are the fundraisers, and we bring them to your attention every board meeting for you all to vote on. And you're going, why? Why do we have to do this? Well, if you'll find out, it is mainly one important, we want to make sure that they're legal, they're liable. And if we don't have proper signatures on them and proper dates and following our policy 1244.1, then we're going to be in big trouble. The school board's commercial liability policy through the Board of Risk, the BRIM, generally includes elected appointed officials, faculty members, employees, volunteer students. And if we don't have any of this in line, then we're not going to be following, we're not going to be able to have them covered. And we're going to be in trouble. And we're going to face a liability or a lawsuit. It's important. Just take the time. And some of them are going to get denied, but there's reasons for it. It's not that we're trying to be mean. We're trying to protect.
So school audits. So the first school audit, big round of applause for Hillsborough Elementary. No findings. Yes. Perfect accounting down there to our service personnel of the year and her wonderful supporting principal. We're so proud of you. When I saw this, I was extremely happy. So congratulations to Hillsborough Elementary, the office staff and the teachers there for a job great and very well done. We appreciate you. The next one, is that me? Mm-hmm. The next one is Marlington Elementary School. Marlington has complied with all aspects of the West Virginia Accounting Procedures Manual for individual schools, all those things that we just reviewed, all of them. So Hillsborough, Marlington has complied with those. We did have some recommendations that were noted. It was noted that some donations were received towards the Marlington Elementary Pavilion. If this is a continued project and additional solicitations are ongoing, a fundraising request should be made annually to the Board of Education. So again, back to submitting the fundraiser reform. We didn't have one, and if it's going to be ongoing, then annually they have to submit that to continue this. It's a recommendation. So what that means, if they come back next year, we're still doing this, we don't have an annual form, it'll be a finding. Next one is Green Bank. So Sarah and I is going to kind of split this, and she's going to give some definitions. So purchase orders, all schools must maintain a purchase order system. The purpose for maintaining a purchase order system in each school is to provide the principal with the means of maintaining controls over purchases to ensure the maximum value is obtained from each dollar spent. Funds are available before the purchase is made, and unauthorized purchases are not made. So what that means is if you don't have your requisition and your purchase order in place and you buy something, it could be possible you bought something without the money to pay for it. So then that creates a problem.
The next one we're going to go over is a risk assessment. And first I'll tell you, what is a risk assessment? It is the auditor's process for identifying areas of concern. What could go wrong? What could be misstated? What controls might fail? Where is fraud or non-compliance more likely to occur? So these are the things the auditor is thinking about when he's beginning his audit. So why? Again, this is what he found. There's a lack of effective purchase order system exposes the school system to compliance issues in the policy 1224.1 and also your policy 8200, which is your purchasing policy. So how does he do it? How would he find out these risks? He has to do an audit test. What are his audit tests? It's a specific procedures that the auditor perform to provide or obtain evidence. So he's going to look at his internal controls, and he's going to use a sampling of your documents. He's going to go get your invoices, your POs, your receipts. He's going to check it all. He's going to make sure you have your inventory. He's going to check it all. Do you have your faculty senate? Do you have your notes? Do you have your minutes? He's going to go through it all. So he wants to make sure you can prove they're adequate, allowable, and properly reported.
So let me give you an example of an audit test and a finding that I had my very first year, 10 years ago, as child nutrition director. We had done the requisition, we had done the PO, and part of what our independent auditor looked for is when we got a receipt, we got an invoice, we stamped it received and dated and signed it. And then when we paid the entire packet, it went on the board agenda, and then we sent out our check, we stamped it paid and dated it. So as they were going through ours, they found a few when they did the audit test that had not been stamped paid and dated. So that was a finding when they pulled a lot because I was over a lot, a big stack like this. And they said, okay, some of these are stamp paid, some of them are not stamp paid. Were they paid or not paid? So that was an audit test that he did on us in Braxton County for me.
So the audit test that they did for Green Bank is they reviewed the purchase orders to ensure maximum value was obtained. Funds were available and unauthorized purchases were not made. The gentleman fully extended the purchase. Purchase orders were obtained prior to ordering of the goods. That's what they're supposed to be. Now what happened?
So we had two findings there for two different POs. BSN Sports along with the internal requisition were both dated 10/28/2024. The attached order summary for BSN Sports noted that the order date of 10/22/2024. So we didn't have our stuff in place when we purchased it. And then PO number 102-901 for $84.80 to BSN Sports along with the internal requisition were both dated at the same day. It's impossible for them to be dated at the same day. So that was one of their findings. So when you think about how closely do they look at our books and what are they looking for, what meticulous details, that's the types of things we're talking about. Overall, I want to say Green Bank Elementary and Middle School had an excellent audit. That is a superb audit, so they should be commended for the great job that they did as well. It's easy to have a couple of those mistakes, so super proud of all of our schools and the work that's been done. And then our last one is Marlington Middle School.
Same thing.
And we have the same thing in the findings and recommendations. We had three different purchases from BSN Sports, Keep Flats and Keep Flats. So we had just some dating issues and the way the procurement process wasn't implemented correctly. Which brings us to Pocahontas County Schools and our state audits. I believe, do we publish this somewhere?
Mm-mm.
Okay. If the audit's there, if you want to read that whole riveting read, it will be available for anybody in the public that wants to come in and read the audit report, and it will be published on the Secretary of State's office. They publish it there, so you can download it and have it for your leisurely reading at night. So here's what we had findings. We had a problem with segregation of duties, and it was a problem and a finding last year. We noted during our audit that there is insufficient segregation of duties at Pocahontas County Board of Education and individual schools. So what does that mean? That means the person cutting the PO and paying the PO has to be different. And the person receiving the goods has to be different. So on every good you receive, there's a shipping label, a packing slip. You have to get that and you have to sign that. If Ollie makes the PO, Ollie should not be receiving. If Sarah, so it's the segregation of duties. That was a problem at the schools and that was a problem here. So here's how we handled it before, and we're kind of kicking some ideas around. In my office, I did the requisitions. Kelly, my former secretary, cut the PO. She went down and got the goods, received them, did the packing slip. Before she paid stuff, I reviewed it all. She put it on the board agenda and then she paid it. So you couldn't order something and receive it and nobody not know, right? So there's a whole bunch of different segregation of duties there. So we need to think about how we're going to do that. For small counties, they usually have this finding, but I think we might be able to work through that and have another way. So they say the cause the Pocahontas County Board of Education has not implemented proper control procedures to sufficiently segregate duties. So the recommendation is
What we had decided before, when we took the reconciliation of your bank statement out of the school's hand and brought it to the county, give a second set of eyes looking, another person there. That helped. And that pulled us down, but we still have the finding. The main thing that the gentleman has asked us to do is when we bring money into the school, where does it go? It goes to the school secretary. The school secretary is the one entering the data in the school funds online. Until we can shift that, we may get an advantage. And that's exactly what the faces I've made. That's going to be hard. It's hard for all schools.
That would mean the principal has to count it or two people have to
Well,
count.
principals, well, or another person that can come through the office and take care of that, or it could be locked up and taken care
I
of.
just want to
Very
remind you,
difficult.
yours was perfect.
We all.
Okay.
That's why we're hashing.
It's not about you. Yours was perfect.
How can we get off this finding?
Yeah.
But it has been a finding for years, but this one's carrying.
Yeah. So then our second finding at the county level involves Pocahontas County High School. So condition, Pocahontas County Board of Education did not have adequate internal control procedures to assure compliance at the individual school. So we know the problems that we had. We had specifically, we reviewed Pocahontas County High School and the following matters were noted. So when a school has findings, it turns into county findings in the auditor of the county because the school had the findings. So one receipt in which the revenue collection sheet was not properly itemized, two receipts in which the revenue collection sheet did not agree with the amount of the deposit, 11 receipts in which the deposit was made untimely, 14 purchase orders where issues were issued after the invoice. So criteria, I've just kind of looked at this. And so for every receipt issued must show the following information: the date, amount, receipt, form of payment, cash or check, name of the individual for whom received it, purpose of the collection, and the fund and the account for which the monies were received. In situations where classroom teachers, sponsors, or other individuals are originally collecting fees from the group of students, for some student activity, the collections may be recorded as a single list rather than issuing individual receipts. This list must reflect the student names, amount being collected, date of the collection, where the collection was by check or cash, the purpose of the collection, the amount of the individuals who collected the funds, and the remitting of the funds to the school. For bank deposits, it is recommended that bank deposits be made on a daily basis. And for purchase orders, schools are required to follow the bid threshold outlined in the state policy 8200. So basically what that says is we purchased some things over the limit. The limit at that time was $5,000. If you have $5,000 worth of something, you have to get 3 quotes. Now that threshold has been moved to $10,000. So if you're purchasing anything over $10,000, you have to get quotes. If it's $25,000, you have to get written formal quotes. Over $50,000, it's a sealed bid. There's a whole bunch of processes that you have to follow that are quite complicated. And
We are aware that this will span 2 fiscal years. Because we found some troubles in December. It will not span to FY27.
so that means this coming school year, it will span into, there'll be another finding for the high school
26. It will be fine.
for 26.
We will have, we already know.
So at the end of this June 30th, this school year will be audited. This audit was for the last school year. So then at the end of the next school year, as long as everything is okay, there won't be an audit finding as long as we have all the issues corrected.
We won't have one for 26, 27. Not for internal controls at the high school.
Now, we will take all of your questions.
How long has this been in place? This process?
Forever? Do you want to know the date this policy was ratified?
No, you answered my question.
Oh, okay. I was like, gosh, I don't know. I don't have that
I just
memorized.
wanted everybody to realize that this wasn't something that was just.
No, this has always been in place. Any other questions, board members, that I can answer for you?
I'd just like to point out what hero our school secretaries are. I mean, and they do all this meticulously with a constant stream of children, a phone that never stops ringing, teachers, parents, and everyone else coming through.
Yeah, thank you, Morgan.
And that's pretty amazing. I've always thought the school secretaries had the most difficult job in the school system.
I would agree with that. I would agree that a strong school secretary makes the world go around. Cause I know I couldn't have made it without my secretary. And I still can't make it without my secretary.
That's right.
If you really want to know what's going on in the schools, talk to the secretary. They know.
Yes, they do know.
How about concession stands? How do concession stand? Where does that money come from?
Typically for concession stands, I'm gonna tell you how it worked for us, because I know how it worked when we worked together with the concession stand. The head coach places an order for what he wants on the concession stand, and either the athletic director or the principal goes and purchases those items for the concession stand. So they're spending their money on the concession stand items, and then all the money from that concession stand go in there to their account to spend on their sport, unless there's an athletic boosters. And then that's a different situation, but we don't have an athletic, our county disbanded those a while back. So concession stands purchase from their account, the stuff, then they do the profit and loss because they purchase, they take that away, and that's their profit. That's how they monitor the
But they
concession.
gotta get to requisition and all.
1,000%.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, yes, you have to get a requisition. And the principal has to approve that before that is purchased.
Thank you.
Good question.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Good job. Now, you ready for general updates?
Yes.
Superintendent update?
Yes. So my last general update is today I started my role and responsibility on the Denmore Correctional Center and Jail Committee. It was actually a heartwarming thing, to be honest. Assistant Warden Walton and her staff, they're just doing phenomenal things there. I did not realize they operate as a small city. I toured the whole facility, even the inmate portion of the facility. Mr. McNabb waited in the vehicle.
Good call.
I wasn't going in there. They might keep me.
But, I really wanted to see their educational opportunities, because here's what research tells us, and we confirmed that today, that people that are in correctional facilities typically have low reading. They are reading at a 3rd grade or less. And the fact that they have an opportunity to get a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and they can be rehabilitated to move from there and become productive citizens of society, we have to give a huge shout out to our correctional facilities that does this for our at-risk population. I want to say that the effectiveness and the efficiency of Denmore was impressive. The campus was impressive. The knowledge and the skill of the staff was impressive. And I'm honored that they have asked me to serve on this committee and work with them. They are one of our partners that we are trying to start our criminal justice pathway to make sure that we have folks that are still employable when they need someone. And I just can't say enough good things about what I saw today. Would you like to add anything, Mr. McMahon?
I've been with them for over a year now, since I got on that committee, and they do amazing things. They're doing all they can to turn them around.
Like they make the clothes. At this one, they make the clothes and sell them to the others. Then there's one that makes the license plates for the state. I didn't know they had like small industries in there. So it really is impressive. That's all.
Okay. Board remarks, Mr. Gibson.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate our service personnel and our professional staff on their you all are winners. More lucky to have 2 of the best winners in the state, I feel. I got a couple things, Dr. Williams.
Okay.
First of all, what happened to our student representative? Do we have, when I came in this evening, I wrote that down. Our pal Joseph was over there and we don't have anybody in that seat. I mean, is that going to be, we still looking for somebody? Did Joseph quit? What?
Well, that's the responsibility of the principal to notify me that there is somebody that's been elected as the president of the student body. But certainly they need to go through the president, their principal on that.
So the principal, okay. Number two is, can we please address the policy at the center of the controversy we had last week and make some changes to that to reflect what we need to do? I mean, I'd really like to update that if it's all possible. With our moving forward, I'd like to request that to be done. I want to ask about our very not private and very public personnel that's on administrative leave for going on 3 months now. I'd like to get some resolution to that and I think I think it's financially not in line, but I don't know. I'd like an update on that issue. And then finally, to our students and parents and our staff, we're in the middle of the fourth quarter. We got a lot going on in May. Spring fever, if we could just knuckle down and get through this last month, focus on school and finish strong, it would be really great. And I think our staff would really appreciate that if we could have a good May. That's all I have.
Commissioner McNabb.
Just want to congratulate all of you on a job well done and appreciate all that hard work and the effort that you put out each day. And I know some days you get up, you don't want to, hopefully you want to go every day, but I know there's days when you get up and you don't want to go. But thank you for going. Other than that, I'd say that I echo Dr. Williams' things on the Denmark Corrections Facility. It is, and I'm sure they would let people come down and talk to you. They're very knowledgeable, very helpful. They want the community to be behind them. And that's what they're striving for. And they're doing a good job with it. That's all I got.
Ms. McCoy. You're next.
I was really hoping Mr. Kerber would have stuck around to hear what I have to say. I am upset. I was told today that he sent an email out last night to all board members, but did not send one to me. And I'm upset because he does not know the facts. As usual, he's posting false information. And he says that they picked me and he wanted to know why. And I'm just saying, all the candidates in the Northern District and the Southern District were interviewed for this position. And why they chose me, I don't know, but I gladly accepted it, as would anybody else that was interviewed. It was very fair. We didn't interview the Central District because they already had 2 representatives. But it was all done very fairly, and I'm honored. But again, he's got false information and people are running with it, and it is not true. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Natural turn.
I'd just like to echo what everyone else said about our people of the year and maybe put Joseph on the spot. I'd like to have a student representative here. Maybe you could put a bug in Ruth's ear or Miss Bland's ear.
I would too.
And
Yeah.
well, I mean, we're almost at the end this year, but next year we definitely need. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be Joseph, but I thought just Joseph may take, he's here. I know he may take the information to her and say, the board feels it's important.
I was elected back in the beginning of the school year. I got word that some board members said that there's no interest in a student representative when the policy says that there has to be a school-wide election. I was elected and Ms. Campbell was supposed to put my name forward, then I had a meeting with you about it with Mr. Anderson. And then, and
We've always enjoyed it. I don't know
that
about.
would happen in the position I was elected for.
We'll get you on the next one. You're welcome.
We've always enjoyed having student representatives.
Mhm.
That's all.
Okay. Our next board meeting will be May the 5th, 2026 at the Board of Education conference room at 6 o'clock. We are hereby adjourned. Oh, my.
That's the note.